Welcome students. I am Shubham Goel and I'm going to teach you about association rule learning in machine learning. This is the second lecture on association rule learning lecture series. Okay, let's start. These are some of the topics that we have to discuss today. First, we have to understand the motivation and need which has resulted in adoption of a priori algorithm for generation of association rules, followed by the detailed discussion on steps of a priori algorithm. The identification procedure of frequent item sets and rule generation is also discussed. The concept of pruning for infrequent item sets and the rules having less information about item associations is also explained with a pictorial example. Okay, let's start. Motivation for a priori algorithm. In the previous lecture, we have learned about the importance of constructing association rules to unearth the relationship between different items, that how association rules are used and how association rules are effective in market basket analysis for store arrangement and for relationship with different items, how different items are bought together. These kind of things we have learned in the previous lecture. We have also learned the metrics to quantify the association rules which we have formed between the items. Now the turn is to construct the association rules between the item sets. Now, how can we do this? Okay. But it is not an easy and a simple task as it appears to be. Like, you have item sets, you will just partition them and make the rules. This is not as easy. So there should be a proper methodology to do this. As the number of rules or the number of items that are available in the store are probably in thousands. Okay. Just 10 items can lead to a generation of approx 10,000 association rules. With some calculations, the increase in count of rules follows the exponential growth with the increase in number of items. So that means that if the number of items in a retail store going to be increased, then the number of rules also for an exponential growth or will also increase exponentially with the increase in item. So evaluating each rule is not possible, or measuring the strength of each rule is not possible, as large number of computation cycles are required and large number of time is also required. So we have a proper methodology to do this. So in order to perform the task of association rule generation, some methodology must be followed. So the answer to our methodology need is a priori algorithm. Let's see how a priori help us. The a priori rule generation is divided into two steps. That means generating the item sets from a list of items in a transaction data set like bread, milk, butter. First, we have to form these kind of item sets from our transaction data sets. Okay, and the item sets must be frequent. That we'll see how to get frequent item sets next. After getting the item sets, now the turn is to convert them to association rules from the frequent item sets. Like, the bread and milk applies to butter, means if the person has bought bread and milk, then it's likely to buy the butter also. Remember, only the items having at least a single instance in a transaction data set are considered for rule generation process. That means the items which are not existing in the transaction data set are not considered. Only the items at least by single time and is among the transaction data set are considered for a priori algorithm association rule generation. Okay. First of all, item set generation. Now, how it going to work? The size of item set, that means the size of item set that we are constructing in order to make association rules, it can vary from 1 to the total number of items in a list. Okay, that means a person can have a single item set having single item, or item set even containing all the items. That depends upon the transaction data set. In this step, our aim is not just to find the item set but the frequent item sets, means we have to find out the frequent item set from all the item set, because item sets are very large in number and it is impossible to measure or analyze all item sets in order to construct the association rules. So we have to find out the frequent item sets. Next, the item set obtained in this step must be binary partition to get the antecedent and the consequent. That means the item set can be binary partition, like containing bread, butter and an egg. So it can be binary partition to get the rule bread and butter implies to egg. Okay, the item sets which are having support at least mean sub mean sup are known as frequent item set. Means in order to become a frequent item set, the item set support must be greater than or equal to mean sub. Okay, in simple terms we can also say the frequent items are the ones which occurs at least a minimum number of times in the transaction. Means this mean sub is predefined, and in order to become a frequent item set, the item set must have a minimum number of transactions in the transaction data set. That means the entire item set must appear in our transaction data set at least the minimum number of time, that is mean sub. That is predefined. Okay. Let's understand the point with the pictorial representation. Item set which is containing all the item sets means the red circle representing all the items as sets that can be constructed from the transaction data set, and the green circle is representing the frequent item sets. That means all the item sets that are having support greater than mean sub. Frequent item set is just a subset of all the item sets with a condition that only item set with support greater than mean sub is a frequent item set. So we have to find out this subset shown with the help of green circle. Can a brute force approach be followed for frequent item sets? Means like we are analyzing each approach item set, means we are analyzing every item set one by one to know that it is a frequent item set or not. Can this approach be followed? The answer is no. It's not possible to test all the item sets that we know. That item sets are very large in number and it is computationally very costly and even time consuming also. So here a priori algorithm comes to our rescue. What a priori algorithm says that all the subsets of a frequent item set must also be frequent. So there is a property of a priori algorithm which says that all the subsets of a frequent item set must also be frequent. Let's suppose if you're saying that there is an item set corresponding to bread, egg and butter. If this is a frequent item sets according to your calculation, then bread and butter must also be a frequent item set, otherwise it is not be a frequent item set. So here the property algorithm overcomes the challenge of testing and analyzing all the items. Let's understand with the help of example. So if there is an item set that is bread, butter and egg having 40 instances among 100 transactions, that means we have total of 100 transactions and there are 40 transactions corresponding to bread, butter and egg. That means the support of this item set will be 0.4. Then the item set bread and butter, and let's suppose we have dropped egg from the item set and we have just left it bread and butter, then according to the property of a priori algorithm it must have instances greater than equal to 40. That means support should be greater than 0.4, or the support should must be at least 0.4, means its support is not less than the support of its superset. The principle is known as, means the principle of getting all subsets of a frequent item set are also frequent is known as anti-monotone property of support, where if we drop an item from the item set, then the support value of new item set generated will either be the same or will increase the support. Okay, that means anti-monotone property is the very important property of the a priori algorithm, which says that if you are going to drop an item from a frequent item set, then the support of that new set formed after dropping an item from the frequent item set must have either the same support or must have more support than its superset. This is the very important property which will help to discard some of the item sets and which are not analyzed in our further analysis. So this is very important to decrease your computational cycles. Okay. This NNT monotone property of support in Aperi algorithm help to prune all the supersets of an item set which does not have or which does not satisfy the minimum threshold condition for support. Means this will help to prune, or you can also say that discard all the superset of an item set if that item set itself fail to comply with the minimum threshold condition for support. Okay. Example, let's suppose milk and toothpaste having 5 instances out of 100 transaction with mean SUPS 15%, then we'll not able to add it to any other item set. That means we know that the item set milk and toothpaste having 5 instances out of 100, that means the support will be 0.05, or you can say 5%. And we know that the minimum support value which is predefined is 15%, as this item set fails to comply with the minimum support value, then this item set is the not frequent item set. Then if we add some item, let's say soap, milk, toothpaste and soap, then it is sure that that item set after addition of soap is also infrequent. That means it is not frequent. So we can say that using this property, if a item set fails to comply with the minimum support condition, then its any superset will also fail to comply with the minimum support condition. So this will help to prune the all supersets. As support is just 0.05 less than min sub, so any superset will also be not frequent. Okay. These are some steps to generate the frequent item sets. First of all, construct all the frequent item sets of size 1. That means first of all what you have to do is, from the item sets you have to construct an item set having the single item. That means it will correspond to all the items in your transaction. Okay. Now calculate the support for those item sets. Okay. Now next one, construct all the item set of size 2. Okay. Now increase the count in the item set by 1 to become it 2. Now again measure the support. So if support does not follow the minimum support condition, then perform the pruning. Okay. Now keep on increasing the size. We will keep on increasing the size one by one of the item set and also perform the pruning as required. The value of mean support is very crucial, so select it very carefully. Like suppose if you have set a very high value for minimum support, then it can chance that you can miss many association rules which are useful for your business. Okay. The detailed explanation of rule construction from frequent item set under a priori algorithm is covered in the second part of this lecture. Thank you student for watching the lecture video. Do watch and understand the remaining lectures in the association learning lecture series. Thank you once again. Thank you students.